Hi everybody, I'm a Dangerous Mix. Let's talk about Borderline, which was directed by Jimmy Warden and stars Samara Weaving, Ray Nicholson, and Eric Dane. Borderline is a story about someone named Paul who flew over a cuckoo's nest and is absolutely obsessed with a lady singer named Sophia. As Paul looks to marry Sophia, her bodyguard tries to put a stop to it. I stumbled across the trailer for Borderline on YouTube, and it did exactly what it needed to for me. I knew I wanted to see it. Ray Nicholson's in it, Samara Weaving's in it. Those two alone got me on board. I'm a pretty big fan of Samara Weaving and the projects that she's chosen to take on. Ready or Not, Mayhem, Guns Akimbo. They're all fun movies. And if you haven't seen any of them, I highly recommend you do. And seeing Ray Nicholson in this trailer, after seeing Smile 2, I was like, yeah, I'm on board to see what this kid's got to offer. And obviously this trailer I saw before Novocaine had come out. So I was just really excited all around for what I saw in this movie. So Borderline actually has a fairly small cast, but everyone that's in here plays their parts very well. Samara Weaving and Ray Nicholson were outstanding. I mean, Ray Nicholson, he carries this movie as Paul. I especially like Alba Batista's performance as Penny. More on her in the spoilers. Jimmy Fails was also another standout. Everyone in this played their part very well. I had a very good time with this film, and in the trailer you hear Ray Nicholson's character Paul say, "That's such bad luck, Sophia," and just the way he delivers that, and he's lost in his own little world and has little pieces come in and just plays them so well. And I really enjoy how everything kind of unfolds in this. The music and the score worked for me. It all plays a decent role in the film. I also really appreciate some of the cinematography in this film and how things are shot and set up, and everything just kind of pays off nicely for me. Now, there are still problems with the film. Paul has some inconsistencies maybe, but maybe they are meant to be there and I just didn't fully grasp them. But regardless, it's a good time. So yeah, now it's time to give it a rating. I mean, overall, I was very happy killing 90 minutes with this movie. I'm very surprised that it wasn't in my local theaters. If you have an opportunity to see it in theaters, I highly recommend it. I found it on Fandango kind of the same day it was meant to be released. I don't know if it was always meant to be a digital first, but I picked it up. Me and my fiance watched it, and we had a blast. So this is definitely one I consider collection worthy. And if not even collection worthy for you, you should definitely check it out when it's available to stream somewhere that you can access it. I mean, just looking at the opening scene of this movie with Bill and Paul just kind of going back and forth, and it kicks over into that weird scenario where Paul is kind of delusional and sees Bill as Sophia. And you see he has a knife that he's kind of threatening his own life. It's just super bizarre, super weird. The guy needs help, and the scene plays out exactly kind of like you expect it to, but also in a kind of unique way. And then he just has this montage throughout the house that is just a blast. And apparently, while he's doing that, he had called the cops to help Bill. So overall, not a bad guy, just highly delusional and psychotic. So I also wasn't expecting it to say 6 months later when that turned up, because I read it and I was like, wait. So I even questioned my fiance, is like, did that say 6 months later? So that was kind of interesting that they chose to do that jump in the story and kind of bring it back. But after seeing what they did with it, I'm very happy that they did. As I said before, one of the standout characters for me was the Penny character. The way she attacks that guard, so brutal but entertaining. And then you see the guard, he's like, I got a fork, and he chooses to go for her foot, which with the struggle going on, hitting a foot, it's probably a little bit more of a challenge. So, he really didn't think that all the way through. Penny also had a really great scene with Sophia where she's talking about how, she's got a great body, but she also expected her to be way more beautiful. And then Sophia's like, well, I have makeup for that. And she's like, oh, that will fix your face. And then she's like, you're trying to fix my face. It's just so funny to see those two interact. And then they get into the whole kind of tricking and getting out of the room that she's in, and then ultimately they have the duet that turns into a really strange but unique and funny fight. So I really appreciate how they handled Penny, and she stole that scene for me. And then, like, even the thermometer and the use of that going into her stomach, and ultimately her getting burnt, which surprisingly, Sophia didn't get burnt at all, which I guess is a thing when you're covered in gas as well. But you have the thermometer, and there's that one little shot with the camera on that thermometer and it going up. It's just so good. And now back to Paul. Ray Nicholson and the way he chose to play Paul, I really love. You had it set up early in the movie with Bill getting stabbed, so the love knife thing, and then that comes back later in the movie with Rhodes as Sophia. Like, all that stuff just, I think, was very nicely handled. Also, it was good to see that the dress fit Rhodes, so there's that as well. But yeah, you can see, like, throughout the movie, Paul is used very well. You can see his delusions and him just kind of imagining this world that he really wants to come to fruition. You also have the ending where he's just going through all these emotions and things in his head that you can just tell that he's going from like a happy state, almost kind of like a bipolar manic state. So there's all that stuff in there, and I thought they just did an excellent job representing that in this movie, but using it in a well respected way. Like, I don't think that this movie is kind of trying to paint that type of thing in a negative light, but they used it very well. I also really like Bill's family coming in here and kind of being pulled into the everything. I love when, you know, the mother and daughter show up and Paul kind of does his thing where he's trying to slide down the banister, but at the same time, he can't quite get up there, so he kind of fakes sliding down and then continues the story. That's pretty great. And this poor little girl, like, she's got her daddy issues going on in here, and then kind of they get to the end and, you know, they kill JH and blood just pours out on top of her. So, like, you know, obviously pretty disturbing, gruesome, probably going to have some issues later on for her. It's kind of funny that they chose to drive home and she's still got blood on her face. Like, no one tried to wipe that off of her. I didn't get that. Billy and Abby's relationship works very well in this movie. It's not overdone where you're like focused on them too much, but I felt that there was like a good dose of the characters being introduced, and you kind of get that little bit of attachment, which just works very well for the movie. Kind of interesting they have 6 months to do a puzzle. I mean, obviously she's traveling a lot, so I'm not gonna, you know, hold too much against her, but Paul being that final piece was very nicely handled. And then, of course, the next puzzle is Junior, which, great choice. And then finally, JH. He was an interesting character overall. I actually would be kind of curious to see a little bit more of kind of his story. And I'd be interested to see if there would ever be some type of Borderline 2, potentially. Like, realistically, JH is the only one who died. So maybe I'd be game for it. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with Borderline, and I definitely recommend you check it out. If it's in a theater near you, it's definitely one you should kind of give a chance. I don't know if you want to pay the price at full price on Fandango right now, but if it ever is on sale or you can find it on a streaming service, definitely worth checking out. And if you do decide to check it out, let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, which Samara Weaving movie do you enjoy? I myself really enjoyed Ready or Not. It was a pleasant surprise, just like this movie. So yeah, good times all around. Well, thanks for stopping by and have a good one. Bye.